everyone. Happy noontime greetings to you. I hope your weekend was terrific. It was a beautiful day yesterday. I got a lot of yard work taken care of because I'm getting ready to paint the house. So I had to cut back everything away from the house. And I started working on it this morning, but the wind started coming up. I love New Mexico springtime. It's warm, it's cold, it's raining, it's dry, it's windy, it's calm. We get a mix of it all, but that's okay. We enjoy it. If you like our content here at Resonant Essentials, please hit the subscribe button. Like our videos, share them out. And if you want to be notified, ring the bell. Today, we're going to do what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks, and we're going to draw a card from the Oracles, Crystals, and Gemstones and Rocks deck created by Carolyn Fracas and Rosie Navarra. Rosie is a practitioner at Resonant Essentials. She's one heck of a psychic medium. She does amazing things, and she has been there to help get us through this time of turmoil that everybody seems to be going through in flux. So today's card, well, this one doesn't want to go in. And this is it. I'm going to laugh if it's the same one. Nope, it isn't. I am Marlinite. And it says, voicing a message of magical gifts are placed in front of you. They are many. So what this is telling me that this is just an awareness that you need, perfect for our talk again today. All arrive here with magic. All have magic. All are magic. What tools do you carry in your magic toolkit? How do you feel about your magic? Are you aware of it? Are you hiding it? Does your magic life follow? Ignored, neglected, and forgotten over many lifetimes. It is time to accept your magic, to open your toolkit, to become your own magician. It is time to stretch your magician muscles to connect to your brand of magic. Now is the time to rediscover and step into your pure magic. That last little bit seemed a little redundant for me, but that's okay. What we're going to be talking about fits real well into the concept of magic. Oftentimes, people take magic and they think, oh my God, magic is evil because it's all about going out and getting what you want. Well, this is the problem that we've had with the law of attraction. Our thoughts all think that we're supposed to be out there sharing, caring, being, experiencing our time here with all the negative thoughts that we're taught through religion, through parenting, through just kind of watching the world, get the proverbial beat down. So what I'm saying is that we're here in the now, and it takes that magic, that inspired magic that's within you to ignite inspired attraction. Now, I do not pick these cards. You watch me shuffle. I do not pick these cards, just have them all set and ready to go. But because I want the best possible blend for what we are going to be talking about today, I seem to pull the cards that are exactly right. Because my thought is, which we go back to, the universal laws, we have our vibration. And our vibration says, yes, we can do it. That raises our frequency. That pulls things, start bringing things forward to us. Our law of correspondence, repeating patterns, is all about the thoughts that keep running through our head. I want the best possible card to blend with the talk I'm going to give. And the law of attraction, poof, it popped out of the deck while I was shuffling. I was like, okay, this must be it. that all of that comes through with the law of inspiration. That's the final piece to all of this. We have so many undesirables happening in our life. And it's because the magic within us is vibrating at a low speed. Our inspired action, our inspiration, our passion is sadly lacking. And so, how can you attract something that you go, nah, must be okay? I'm going to give you a personal example. Is that for years I thought, I got to move. I need to move out of my house. It was something that I'd been trying to do. I started, back in 1999. I took all the pictures off the walls. In fact, I think that's the only picture up on any of my walls. Sorry. Well, my allergies are still bad from the trees out here blooming. Sorry, didn't mean that to go off. Anyway, the whole point is that we go through this and we understand that we are the inspiration to we have that passion. So I tore everything down. I painted all the walls, or I plastered, I sealed them because they were paneling. I didn't want to put sheetrock up. And so I sealed the paneling and I painted over it, and I did like a glaze, not a glaze, a drywall look. I did a drywall look to the walls and painted them. And I finished, well, I'm not quite finished. It's been 10 years, 20 years later. And I want to redo the bathroom, and my bedroom is done. So all but the bathroom and part of my bedroom needs to be done. But I've changed the paint color. It's a lot of work, takes a lot of time and effort, and I was gone for a few years. So with that being said, it was all about me getting ready to move, and I did move. I moved up to Toronto part-time. I just didn't move all the way. I didn't give it all the shot because that didn't feel right for me either, to be there 24/7 for the rest of my life. I knew New Mexico was still ingrained in my heart. So that ambiguity brought me back. I knew I needed to move. I did move, but I didn't stay gone. When we're trying to work with the law of inspiration and understand that we are putting our energy where our thoughts are, we want to make sure that that's as high vibration and as keyed into abundance in whatever we're working with as possible. And magic does that. There's if you haven't heard me mention it before, a book called Weaving Fate. It's by Aidan Watcher. I don't know if I have it up on the shelf. I have so many books all over the place, but it must be on the bookshelf in the living room. Anyway, he wrote this book, and what it boils down to is that you sit down and you write your future as though it happened yesterday. So people aren't going to go in there and go, I went bankrupt, unless they're able to write a way out of the bankruptcy where they still end up with abundance and they didn't lose hardly anything at all and they got all their debt taken care of. They could write that in. But the whole point of the, weaving fate is that you get your inspiration going. You get your thoughts focusing and your vibration resonates after that. So your vibration sets it off, I should say, doesn't come after, it sets it off. Then the thought patterns, I want to do this, I want to do this, I can feel this. It's happening. And then it's, I got to get ready for something, and this is what I want. So you're starting to attract all the things that will help you make that final push over the hump. Does that make sense? So the inspired action is doing everything to support that happening. For example, I wanted the outside of my house painted, and I knew I needed to do some work around it. So I started doing the work, which would be closing off the holes where the skunks get under the house, for one. Then there would be, um, going out picking the colors. And then there would be, doing all the work to make sure everything was clear for the painting, replacing anything that was broken, or, like little pieces of the eaves or whatever was broken. Rain gutter had to be cleared. Everything had to be done. With that being said, I took care of all of that. And as soon as I did that, my neighbor next door, because I really did not want to paint the outside of my house by myself. I really, really, really didn't. So I kept thinking, gosh, if there was just somebody who would step forward. And he did. He happens to paint. That's what he does for work. Well, not since he's gotten COVID because his lungs can't take it anymore, but he literally said, look, I haven't got a full-time job yet. I'm looking at an interview with this company. It's going to be part-time. I'd be happy to paint your house and I won't charge you very much. And I was like, really? Because you're like what I was hoping for. You're like what I set my vibration to attract, my thought patterns to attract, my initial push to attract, and did all the supporting work to bring that in. That's how it works. And that in itself is what magic is. People go in and they get really confused with magic. I will tell you this. We live in an amoral universe. Doesn't mean that you don't have to have morals. Has nothing to do with that. Has everything to do with the understanding that everything that you draw to you, while it may feel bad or it may feel good, is there because you created it. So there's no judgment. The judgment makes it a moral universe. Our judgment that we place upon all this energy makes it right or wrong. So when somebody is doing magic, which there's all kinds of magic. For example, chaos magic is really all about sending out the energy and not worrying about how it comes to you, but knowing that with the right intentions, you're sending it out. It's not going to hurt anyone. You don't go and do like with using the law of attraction. You don't try to attract somebody's spouse or somebody's house. Like in the envy thing, I want their house because something really negative has to happen to them to make that happen. So that's not what you do. The inspired action is about creating and knowing that the universe has something just perfect for you. The right something, the right someone, the right moment, the right timing, the right abundance, the perfect life is right there for you. And you don't have to go and try to get somebody else's. It's not about being immoral and trying to take what is not yours. Amoral means there is no judgment. So when you're looking at the law of inspired action, I didn't care who stepped forward. I was setting the table from the minute I decided to paint my house, and my thoughts went to, I really need to paint the house. And this started last year, I guess September of last year. I knew I needed to do this, and I know I needed to get this taken care of. And I tried to get it done before winter, but that wasn't the case, mainly because I didn't put any inspired action, I'm sure. But I built up the vibration. I'm going to paint the house, and I went down and I picked out the colors. I've had the colors since September, and I went in and the winter came, and I was like, well, I don't want to do it now again. Holding that back and forth weighing thing. But something came through in the law of attraction. I got a call from the county assessor's office who said, "You changed your last name since your house was titled." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you have to change the title to reflect that." Oh, okay. Well, I changed my name in 95 back to my maiden name. So now I'm like, wow, it took you guys that long to catch up with me? But for whatever reason, I have to go down and take care of this, which is not a problem. But I also know maybe it has something to do with some reason I'm supposed to be taking care of all this. So I'm gladly going along with what I tried to create back then in 99, which was moving to a different house. And surprise, it was, like I said, it was not a constant thought. And there were times that I even thought, wow, you know what? It maybe it's not the time. It's not so bad living here. I like my house. I like my porch. I love sitting out there in the evenings. I have a yard for the dogs. I'm happy. So my inspired action was, when it's time, I'll do something about it. So evidently it was time. That's when I started doing something about painting the house. We'll see if I move. Again, remember that when you really are trying to attract something, your vibration has to be set, your thoughts have to follow. You start attracting the things that will pull it all together, and then you start doing what's necessary to bring it forward. If you want abundance, you buy a lottery ticket, you enter Publishers Clearinghouse, you get a job, or you mooch from your parents. Which one would work probably best under inspired action? All of them. And I know parents around the world are going to go, really? You just said you have my kid mooch off of me? They're attracting abundance, and you're letting them. They're just borrowing yours. I'm just saying. So when we are looking at creating and doing and being and seeing and having these moments in which we want to have all these good things happen, then it takes the combination. But guess what else happens? You can do it in the negative flow. You can create drama, chaos, hurt, pain, suffering, anger. You can create that too. That's part of the law of attraction. That's the law of correspondence. So within, so without. Where your thoughts go, what your vibration is doing, you can attract all the negative stuff too. And that's okay too. I mean, I watch people do this all the time. They will attract, they really want a relationship. And this works more with relationships than it does with any other law of attraction or any other thing we're trying to attract. In relationships, we have this idea. We don't want to be lonely. We want somebody to have dinner with. We want somebody to come home to. It could be, I want somebody to fix this around the house or fix that around the house, or I want somebody to do my laundry, or maybe it's I want to do somebody's laundry. I mean, every one of us has our gifts, and if we play our cards right in relationships, we are bringing to the table our gifts, and we team up as a team, not delegate who does what predicated by gender. So with that being said, we might be attracting somebody according to their gender, what we think that person as their gender should do. And how appreciative would somebody feel if the only thing you wanted them to do was paint your house? Right? Now, I'm willing to pay for my house to be painted. I don't need to attract somebody that wants to paint my house and that be it. If in a relationship, for my neighbor, it's fine. That's all I want. But people focus on this fantasy. And where they get their fantasies is often from the dynamics of their parents, from romance novels they have read, from spy novels they have read, sci-fi novels, or movies they go to. There's always the hero. The girl always gets the hero. The guy doesn't always get the hero. He doesn't always get the heroine either. But the girl always gets the hero. And we fail to understand that that's all romantic thoughts, but doesn't have a lot to do with the reality of actually living together. So instead of choosing someone that we want to live in harmony with on a spiritual level and be in that same vibrational lock so that we can attract that energy of a more peaceful, more spiritual, progressive life, we often resort to they've got to be this size, they've got to be able to cook, clean, bake, fix my car, paint the house, roof, take out the garbage, play with the kids. They have to be done with their child support, on to being grandparents, whatever it is that people have decided that they really wanted. And they have all those lists of things, but they forget good character, integrity, truthfulness. Is it as important what somebody looks like more so than how they walk through represent themselves on earth? Is that more important? I don't think so. Looks fade, accidents happen, people end up disabled. If you're not in it for the right reasons, you're attracting something that can bring chaos to your world. So you have to watch that law of inspired action on that. Let's say you're looking for that dream boat. Oh, he's got to be able to dance. He's got to be able to go out and have a good time. Well, you go to a lounge or a bar, club, and you hang out. And in walks Mr. Studley or Miss Sexy. And your eyes are like this big and you're just smitten. Your hormones are going every which way. And your thoughts are like, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's the one I want. I want that, I want that, I want that. Well, let's say that one you didn't get, but somebody else came forward to fill the bill and you settled for that one. And they do. They drink, they party, they're great fun, but they don't clean up after themselves. They don't believe what you believe spiritually. They're angry, they're racist, they're ageist, they're sizist. And so the minute you gain a little bit of weight, boom, they're out the door. I'm not talking just male and female. I'm talking women can be just as guilty of all of this as men are and can be. I'm talking about what goes on in our thick skulls that gives us that momentary pleasure of arm candy that creates that moment that we think, oh, we've got it all. And we fail to admit that we got caught up in mortal desires, very topical, very, what's the word I'm looking for, very, not without depth, okay? Like very, people that have no depth. They just want to party, drink, have fun, lounge around on the weekends, accomplish nothing. And it's fun for a while, but after a while you're looking and saying, but I need somebody of more substance. So then divorce happens. And of course, when divorce or whatever breakups happen, there's the anger, the hurt, the pain and suffering, the mistrust, the misdeeds. You got somebody who cheated on you, you got this, you got that. All because that was your thought pattern. All because that was your vibration. You set the tone by walking into the place you would find the person that you found without a thought to the vibration of the place, your vibration, your intentions, your thoughts, and what you were attracting. And you put it all together while dressing up nice, and you went out to find them. And that was your inspired action. And you found what you were looking for, but it didn't work. So now what? You have to stop, you have to breathe, and you have to regroup. You have to say, well, I'm not as young as I once was, so I don't want somebody who is not at least close to me in age. I want somebody who understands on a spiritual level just how important it is for me to be able to talk to somebody and have them put their own, if they're of that level, they are living that life. They aren't just living off of your spiritual life. They are actually doing it for themselves. I knew somebody who, they wanted to hold sweat lodges. Got a bunch of blankets out, and all during COVID could have had their sweat lodge built and could have been doing all this great spiritual work. But they didn't. They sat on the couch and did nothing. It's not like they had a job. No, they quit that. So the point is that what was wrong with that person? Who would want to attract that? And how long would you stay in that? You can't fix it. So you learn each time when you're doing in the law of attraction and inspired action what you don't want. And that narrows down the field as to what you do want. Those are the things that we all come together, and those are the things that we look at as a all-encompassing way of being. Hey, that's got to be Johanna signed in. Is that you, Johanna? Yes, ma'am. How you doing, sweetie? I saw your video this morning. It was awesome. Johanna has now joined back to Resonant Essentials, and she is back on target with us, doing her live forecast on Sundays. So you want to catch this week's. It was really good. Yeah, we're in for, it's eclipse season, and we're in for it. Some of us, it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be great for me. So yeah, when we go in and we do all these great things and we have these great moments, we have the ability. But, speaking, I'm glad Johanna stepped in because, that's the next piece to this puzzle. Our astrological charts, there's two ways to look at this. You have your evolutionary chart, which says what your soul is out there to create. And we have our natal chart and our progressives. And what I did learn was this. When you're creating something, the doors that are open come to you through your chart, your astrological chart. The opportunities are there. So it's always smart to work very closely with your astrologer when you're starting to do your inspired action, because it's disheartening not to. If you are not set up and ready to go to create a magnificent future for yourself, like I'm writing my son's story in a book, and I'm writing another book, and that fits perfectly with my astrological chart. Yes, it is your map, your recipe book, and that puts you together. Your natal chart, she's saying, is your recipe book, your map. And it's very important there that because sometimes you don't have, you might have 6 or 7 marriages in your chart. So it is with, palmistry. So it is with everything. I mean, this is like what you predestined, but you can use this as a tool to actually go, okay, well, this spring is really going to be all about awesomeness and change. Like, I'm looking very forward to my birthday this year because I know that that's a springboard into my future work and what I do as a metaphysician. I know that I'm clearing out got through that stuff, and it's going to happen, and things are going to wind down. Why? Because I had a reading with Johanna. And she said, oh, my solar reading last year was all about, hey, this time next year. So when we understand that these are the things that my inspired action, everything that I have done, I focused on the books. My mind, my thoughts on writing it good and getting it edited and getting it ready and doing all of these things had already begun before she even gave me that reading. And it all fits very well into this next shift that I'm going to undergo. So when we have that inspired action that we're doing, like I'm writing, editing, I'm doing all of that, and the class that I take, my writer's class, to keep me focused and on target, because it's really kind of hard to write a personal memoir of something that may have happened in your life that's tragic without somebody helping guide you through it, because it's real easy to go, I quit, I give up. But I felt like this was something really important that the world needed to hear on how we treat people in the hospital that don't have insurance, the poverty stricken folks, like my son was. So all of this has been, and that's my inspired action, is putting together this book so that I can attract the right publisher, so I can attract the right people to read this. This is a long process. I'll be doing this until July. And I've just written, I'm kind of at the little over half stage at the rough draft. When we do this, when we take this on, when we go through and we have our power push together, we have to take into consideration all of these things that we want to do. Yes, our astrological chart is. Thanks. I'm excited. I'll have to give you a couple of chapters to read. You'll enjoy it. But when we're doing this, and we know that the power lies within us, the power to own our integrity and the power to own the passion and the truth of who we are, we also have to understand there's levels to this, levels of learning. So while you're creating and get the law of attraction, like I had friends, she was working with the book, The Secret, and so was this guy. They met. He went and helped her move from California to here, and they fell in love. They were living together, and then it was no longer. So they each went on their own way, and they attracted the next layer, the next level of perfection for them. We do this to learn, to spiritually grow, to bring forth our truths to our highest and best good. Sometimes we're not supposed to be with one person or stay in one job. I know somebody who stayed 30 years with the Social Security Administration. I'm thinking, wow, she did it, man. She rocked it. And she got a great retirement, and she still works part-time, because what else is she going to do? Because for her, she just enjoys this, and this is what inspires her, gets her out of the house and travels. But not everybody's going to do this, because we're going to each take a slot to be there, to be available for the people who are attracting us into their life, to learn what we have to give them, and also for us to attract them back so we can learn what it is that they have to tell us. This is why a lot of people get frustrated with me, because I'm not a real keen person on twin flames, because I don't know that you actually, I know the split, and this is in my book, Mastering Metaphysics, Foundations and Principles. We split to positive and negative energy, male and female energy, before when we incarnated. That's what caused the split, is incarnating. It's kind of like the atom split. So when we did this, twin flames, I believe, think that they are they split themselves so they could meet themselves to teach themselves lessons. But then why then, if that were the case, are they all waiting around for that twin flame to come back to them? I personally think that that person that stands as the twin flame to yours is somebody who you had agreements with that you would trigger each other's healings. Because what better person to do it than some spirit that you had many lifetimes with that cared enough about you to help you on your spiritual progression in this life, even if it hurts. Because it's not always easy. It can be brutal, it can be confusing, and it can be harsh until we learn our lessons. That's why I say it's really important that you start before you want to map out. You want to map out everything. Thanks for that term. See, I'm sitting here reading it. Map. You want to make a list of what it is that you need for your spiritual progression, and find somebody who fits in a gentle and peaceful way with that. And then you check with your astrologer and say, okay, here's my timing. Here's what I'd like to create. They can look and say, okay, you can do this. This energy would be good at this time for that. They can also tell you where you want to live. You know, if you want to move from your town, they can help you with finding the right town or right place in the world for you to live that brings out the best you. Yes, we do. We do indeed. We have these moments that we have this power that we have to understand that those people we're each other's tools to help us. And we have all these different ways of expressing them, making sense of them, and what words we use. And I realize the world has got so many different words to mean new different things, because sometimes this stuff is a marketing gimmick. Sometimes an egg is just an egg. It's not the deluxe divine egg of life for your breakfast. It's just an egg. And when we understand that we don't need marketing tools, we don't need to market each word. We can use the tools to create the vibration and draw forth just the right egg for breakfast. We also have to understand that words have vibration and have powers. And that on the flip side tells us that those words that are inspiring us, that's good. That's good too. So it's about how you use the new words. Like used to be, stress was the product of the 90s. Everybody had stress. Then everybody had OCD and ADHD, and they're narcissists now, and COVID, and they're this, they're that. We have too many words for humanity and describing humanity and just saying, I want the perfect person that will help me be a better me. That's what we're looking at. That's what we want with our abundance. We want to, when we're looking at creating abundance, we want to be in our integrity with how to attract the abundance. If you're out there, stealing, you're not really attracting abundance, but you are attracting something, and it's chaos, and you might go to jail. Is it worth it? So instead of being greedy or envious of somebody else's abundance, we should be applauding them and taking a page from their book and going, look, they are in their integrity, they're working, they're doing what they love to do for work. That's a huge piece of the puzzle that we don't get. Oh, my dog's going. Come here, sweetie. Come on. Come here. It's your poor Phoebe. Come on. She's having a tough time, folks. My little Phoebe has lymphoma, and so sometimes she can't breathe too good. So we're going to take a moment and rub her down. Because she needs all the love she can get. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That was such a cool kiss on the nose. Better? Okay. Sorry about that. Um, but if we're out there working, oh, there she goes again. Don't do it. You're okay. Put your head up. Put your head up. I wish you guys could see what I'm saying. Anyway, um, if we're working at a job we absolutely hate, what do you think your vibration is doing? It's like, oh my God, I have to go to work today. No amount of abundance is going to flow there. If you don't like your job, you're not going to get the great raise. If you don't like what you're doing, it's going to show in your health and in your wealth and in your relationships with everyone, because that energy lowers your vibration. Your thoughts become drudgery and pain, suffering, and anguish. And so what you attract is pain, suffering, and anguish, and people who will support that pain, anguish, and suffering. So fear comes in. Once your income starts to slide, fear comes in, and there's no inspired action. So when you start finding something to do that's inspiring, or you see somebody else and you really like what job they're doing, why not find that job for yourself, so that that energy, that power can start inspiring you, and you can start putting forth that toward abundance. These are all things that the law of attraction need in order to create a deeper sense of abundance for us. And, sometimes we have to look at what abundance looks like. It's plenty, it's being in plenty. We have enough. Some people go, I can never have enough. Well, greed just got you, and so that just lowered your vibration. So guess who's going to be struggling to have enough? I want. That inspires the thought of lack. If you want something, obviously you don't have it. So when you say I want, you're not putting inspired action to work. It means it's still out here. It's still over there, somewhere where you can reach out to find it down the road. But if you say, I have enough, and everything, I love this world, I love everyone in it, and I am attracting everything that I need for my own best interest and my spiritual progression, then you haven't said lack, you haven't said want, you're just graciously accepting what the universe is giving you. I told you last week my affirmation. Magical work comes to me in a magical way. I give magical service for magical pay. And that's amazing. I get lots of phone calls, lots of opportunities for work. I get people calling. They're interested in coming in and seeing the practitioners. We're all flowing with abundance because we all recognize that we have everything that anybody could want, plus whatever else the universe wants to throw our way. Having that thought process, having that world has shifted the energy in the center. And more customs, more clients are coming in, more students are coming in, more everything is coming in, because now we're in the flow. We have gotten rid of that fear of lack that was created during COVID. Now we have all kinds of people coming our way with all the joy and love in the entire universe we can't miss. When you take life at that level, when you understand that in every aspect, even in your health, I am healthy, I am magnificent. When somebody asks you, how are you? I'm fantastic. That is inspired action. Those words are inspired action. If you go, I don't know, could be better. Well, what you just told the universe is you're not good enough. You didn't tell the universe, hey, I am doing fantastic and I'm right in the flow with you. You told the universe that you're Debbie Downer or Dawn Downer, and you just are going to sit in misery. And so that is what you're going to attract. So every time somebody comes up and says, how you doing? fantastic, magnificent, wonderful. I am so happy I could do backflips. My life is peaceful. Whatever phrase you want to use to describe how perfect your life is, that's inspired action. That's putting those thoughts to attract what you want in. It's about knowing that the right person, right thing, right place, right time, everything is in perfection. And you can even say that. How you doing? You know what? My life is in perfection. I love my life. And then guess what's going to happen? That vibration will raise and you will love your life. You're going to love abundance. You're going to love unconditionally. You're going to love everything about your world and you're going to really enjoy life. You're going to not have to make excuses um, for not getting the job done because everything is in perfection. You will have it done in perfect timing. Everything is perfect. That in and of itself moves us to that magic, moves us to that moment in time in which we are creating a very passionate, wonderful world. So I will end today by saying, from my heart to all of yours, you are magnificent, metaphysical, multidimensional, eternal, immortal beings of love and light. And it is my honor to be a part of your life. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye for now.